In this video, we will explore how a Midwest anti-abortion group used precise geolocation data from a data broker to target online content to visitors of certain Planned Parenthood clinics. According to the Wall Street Journal, the group, called Pro-Life Wisconsin, bought location data from a company called X-Mode Social Inc., which collects data from smartphone apps and sells it to advertisers and other clients. The data included the latitude and longitude of devices that were within a certain radius of Planned Parenthood clinics in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Using this data, Pro-Life Wisconsin was able to identify devices that belonged to women who were likely seeking abortions at these clinics. The group then used a service called Mobile Wallah to match these devices with online identifiers, such as cookies and device IDs, that could be used to deliver targeted ads. The ads included videos of former Planned Parenthood workers who claimed they regretted their involvement in abortion services, as well as links to websites that offered information on alternatives to abortion, such as adoption and pregnancy care centers. The goal of the campaign was to dissuade women from going through with their abortions by showing them content that challenged their decision and offered them other options. The group claimed that the campaign was successful in reaching thousands of women and saving hundreds of lives. However, the campaign also raised serious ethical and legal questions about the use of location data for political purposes. Critics argued that the campaign violated the privacy and autonomy of women who were seeking legal medical services, and that it could potentially expose them to harassment or violence from anti-abortion activists. Moreover, the campaign may have violated state and federal laws that prohibit deceptive advertising and consumer fraud. For example, some of the ads falsely claimed that abortion could cause breast cancer or infertility, or that Planned Parenthood was under investigation for selling fetal tissue. The campaign also highlighted the lack of transparency and regulation in the location data industry, which collects and sells sensitive information about millions of people without their knowledge or consent. Many smartphone users are unaware that their apps can track their location and share it with third parties, or that they can opt out of such tracking in their settings. The campaign ended last year after X-Mode stopped selling location data to Pro-Life Wisconsin following inquiries from the Wall Street Journal. X-Mode said it was unaware of how its data was being used by the group, and that it had a policy against using its data for political purposes. However, other data brokers may still be selling location data to anti-abortion groups or other political actors who want to influence people's behavior or opinions based on their whereabouts. As long as there is a demand for such data and a lack of oversight over its use, the privacy and safety of smartphone users may be at risk. In this section, we will explore how data brokers like SafeGraph and Placer AI collect and sell location data that reveal abortion clinic visits and where the visitors live. Location data is a valuable commodity in the digital economy, as it can reveal people's behavior, preferences, and habits in the real world. Data brokers are companies that collect, aggregate, and sell this data to various clients, such as advertisers, marketers, researchers, or even government agencies. One of the main sources of location data is mobile apps that use location services, such as GPS, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth, to provide functionality or content to users. Many of these apps also embed software development kits, SDKs, from data brokers that allow them to access and transmit the user's location data to the broker's servers. The user may not be aware of this data collection or may have consented to it by accepting the app's terms of service or privacy policy. Data brokers can then process and analyze the location data to create profiles of users based on their visit patterns, demographics, interests, and behaviors. For example, data brokers can infer where users live, work, shop, eat, travel, or worship based on their location history. They can also identify which users visit certain places of interest, such as abortion clinics or Planned Parenthood offices. Data brokers can then sell or share this data with other parties through online platforms or marketplaces. Some of these platforms allow anyone to create an account and access the data for a fee or for free. For example, Placer. AI offers heat maps of where abortion clinic visitors live to anyone who creates a free account on its site. Other platforms may require more verification or authorization from the buyers. The availability of this data poses serious privacy and security risks for abortion clinic visitors and providers. Anti-abortion groups or individuals could use this data to target ads, messages, protests, harassment, or even violence at them. For example, in 2020, Motherboard reported that an anti-abortion group used location data from a broker called Mobilewala to target ads at women inside abortion clinics. The same data could also be used to identify women who seek out-of-state abortions in violation of local laws. In response to the public outcry and criticism over this issue, some data brokers have stopped selling information on visits to abortion clinics. For example, SafeGraph said it has stopped selling this data after a report from Vice revealed how easily it could be purchased. However, other data brokers may still continue this practice or find ways to circumvent the scrutiny. Therefore, it is important for abortion clinic visitors and providers to be aware of the potential exposure of their location data and take steps to protect their privacy. Some of these steps include turning off location services on their phones when not needed or using a burner phone when visiting an abortion clinic. Reviewing the permissions and privacy policies of the apps they use and deleting or disabling those that collect or share location data without their consent. Using VPNs or Tor to mask their IP address and online activity from trackers and third parties. Avoiding public Wi-Fi networks that may collect or leak their location data. Educating themselves and others about the risks and rights related to location data and supporting legislation that limits its collection and use. Location data is a powerful and potentially dangerous tool that can be used to violate the privacy and safety of people seeking abortions and abortion providers, especially if Roe v. Wade is overturned. In this section, we will explore how location data can be collected, accessed and used by anti-abortion groups, law enforcement and others who may want to target or prosecute abortion seekers. One of the main sources of location data is Google, the tech giant that has billions of users and collects data on their movements, searches, interests and behaviors. Google has a feature called Location History that records the places a user visits with their phone every few minutes. Google can estimate the location of a person's device within 9 feet, according to court testimony from the company. This data is stored in a massive centralized database known as Sensor Vault, which can be accessed by law enforcement through legal requests such as subpoenas, search warrants and geofence warrants. Geofence warrants are a type of digital dragnet that seek information about every device that has crossed into a defined location in a specific period of time, such as a bank, a home or an abortion clinic.